stories you are about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't. I'm Dave Michaels with this week's edition of Spot Crime, where we highlight crimes reported in the CSRA. We've had more shootings around the CSRA, 3 on Sunday alone. The first shooting on Sunday took place around 2 a.m. at Pure Platinum, a club off Gordon Highway. Deputies say several people started shooting randomly. One male victim was shot in his wrist. 3 men were arrested and charged with multiple crimes ranging from aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during a crime, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The second shooting of the day happened on Old Savannah Road. Deputies say they're looking for a man who robbed the victim at gunpoint and then shot him in the leg. The shooter is still on the loose, and all they know is he goes by the name Kirsty. The third shooting happened at Kenny's Master Cuts off Lumpkin Road. Deputies say around 1 p.m. 2 co-workers began arguing. One of the men pulled out a gun. Derek Johnson, 22, was shot in his left foot and was treated for his injuries on the scene. Including Sunday's incidents, this makes 18 people shot in the last 16 days. We've had 69 assaults around the CSRA. They took place on the 900 block of Broad, the 2700 block of Pine Valley, the 1500 block of Gordon Highway, the 1800 block of Central Avenue, the 2000 block of Dunham Court, the 2400 block of Tobacco Road, the 2200 block of Southgate Drive, the 1700 block of Walton Way, the 1200 block of Summer Street, the 800 block of Sterling Ridge Drive, the 400 block of East Boundary, the 200 block of East Telfair Street, the 400 block of Fairhope Street, the 600 block of Bransford Road, the 3000 block of Lucas Court, the 2900 block of Myrtle Avenue, the 2000 block of 2nd Avenue, the 900 block of Fayetteville Drive, Marge Street, the 2000 block of Virginia Avenue, the 1300 block of Laurel Street, the 2600 block of Richmond Hill Road, the 3400 block of the Mike Paget Highway, the 200 block of Boy Scout Road, the 2100 block of Ellis Street, the 1800 block of Green Street, the 3100 block of Collier Road, the 1700 block of Martin Luther King Boulevard, the 1100 block of Broad Street, the 2300 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 3500 block of the Mike Paget Highway, the 500 block of Blum Street, the 1700 block of the Gordon Highway, the 2500 block of Milledgeville Road, the 200 block of Fox Trace Drive, the 400 block of Hale Street, the 3400 block of Chadbourne Street, the 3300 block of Blanchard Road, the 2600 block of Blueberry Drive, the 1500 block of Hurd Avenue, the 4500 block of Frank Warren Drive, the 2400 block of Acapulco Drive, the 2100 block of Gatewood Drive, the 2300 block of Overlook Road, the 1700 block of Old Savannah Road, the 1400 block of Johns Road, the 3600 block of Monmouth Drive, the 2600 block of Cranbrook Drive, the 2600 block of Billings Road, the 3600 block of Wheeler Road, 11th Street, the 400 block of East Boundary, the 700 block of Crawford Avenue, the 2000 block of Old Savannah Road, the 1300 block of the Gordon Highway, the 1800 block of Liberty Church Road, the 4900 block of Old Waynesboro Road, the 2000 block of the Gordon Highway, the 3400 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 2400 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 2500 block of Wheeler Road, the 1700 block of S.E. McIntyre Boulevard, the 3500 block of Richmond Hill Road, the 3400 block of Jonathan Circle, Tuttle Street, the 1100 block of Broad Street, the 2100 block of A Street, and the 2400 block of Cross Creek Road. We've had 29 burglaries on the 1300 block of Laurel Street, the 3800 block of Mike Paget Highway, the 2900 block of Daylert Drive, the 1000 block of River Ridge Drive, the 1300 block of Swanee Quintet Boulevard, the 1500 block of Verity Street, the 200 block of the Robert C. Daniel Parkway, the 2800 block of Lumpkin Road, the 1400 block of Daisy Lane, the 1300 block of Baker Avenue, the 300 block of Brandywine Place, the 2100 block of Stevens Road, the 2300 block of Redwood Drive, the 1800 block of Wiles Road, the 2300 block of Henry Court, the 2000 block of the Gordon Highway, the 2700 block of Tobacco Road, the 1500 block of Brown Road, the 2400 block of Hood's Chapel Road, the 5000 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 2600 block of Alexander Place, the 200 block of Broad Street, the 1100 block of Turpin Street, the 1600 block of Morgan Street, the 2800 block of Gordy Road, the 2000 block of the Gordon Highway. We've had 4 robberies around the CSRA on the 3200 block of Heritage Court, the 1400 block of Harper Street, the 3600 block of Deansbridge Road, the 2600 block of Belmington Drive. 2 cases of arson around the CSRA on the 600 block of 2nd Street and the 2200 block of Darlington Drive. 3 charged with reckless conduct on the 2200 block of Lumpkin Road, the 1600 block of Curran Way, and the 3500 block of Biltmore Place. 1 damage to property on the 3400 block of Essex Place, and we've had 2 drug arrests, 1 on the 200 block of East Telfair Street and 1 on the 600 block of West Frontage Road. If you know anything about these crimes or any other crimes, please text your tips to 803-441-8744, where you'll always remain anonymous and you tell us where to stack your cash reward.
On Tuesday, July 9th at 1300 hours, deputies responded to 1812 Sherrill Drive in regards to a home invasion. Upon arrival, it was learned that 3 unidentified black males entered the residence by forcing their way into the front door. You'll remember Crime Stoppers showed you a very simple tip on how to take a threshold and screw it into the faceplate so that whenever your door bolts into the side of your door, it's very hard to kick in your door or force open your door, just like this home invasion happened. Once inside, 2 of the 3 suspects ransacked the residence, while the 3rd suspect held the residence at gunpoint. The suspects were last seen fleeing the scene, traveling in a golden-colored Dodge Stratus with tinted windows and numerous items from the residence. The suspects are described as 1 black male who is 5'8", about 150 pounds, had a white t-shirt and khaki shorts with a white t-shirt wrapped over his face, brandishing an automatic handgun. The 2nd suspect was a black male with a large frame, wearing black shorts with a khaki buttoned-up shirt and a white shirt wrapped around his face, brandishing an automatic handgun. The 3rd suspect was a black male who was about 5'9" and 160 pounds, wearing a type of polo shirt, turquoise in color, with white stripes, blue jean shorts, and blue and white tennis shoes, and a white shirt wrapped around his face, brandishing an automatic handgun. There were no reports of injuries, although the family was traumatized and their peace has been stolen. Sheriff's investigators are currently investigating this incident. Further details involving this investigation may be seen by going to Facebook and searching for AugustaCrimeStoppers.org or Crime Reports and Rewards. If you think you know how police may find these home invaders, please call Sergeant Shane McDaniel at 706-821-1003. If you want cash, text or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org or text or call to 803-441-UP-HIGH, where you'll always remain anonymous. The rewards are up high, and you tell Crime Stoppers where to stack your cash. Now for an update on this home invasion. Augusta Crime Stoppers sent an eyewitness to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office to draw the faces of the 3 youths who home invaded this grandmother and her grandchildren. We have not heard back from the police or the eyewitness yet. Due to Augusta's rapidly growing home invasion and burglary trend, Augusta Crime Stoppers is offering for a limited time to any home invasion victim a free metal anti-home invasion strike plate. Laura Warren of News 12 wants to interview you while we install it. If you have been the victim of a home invasion, metal is installed where your door latches into the strike plate so your door bolt goes into the metal instead of wood. A normal door jamb is thin, soft wood that will not stand up to someone kicking it, so most homes in the area have less than 2 seconds to defend against anyone kicking their door. A metal strike plate allows you precious time to make your escape and call the cops while the home invaders stay busy trying to kick in your door. Augusta Crime Stoppers spoke with the grandmother of the 3 grandchildren after they were forced to lay on the floor while her house was robbed. She tells Crime Stoppers she's trying to flee the county and has not slept in that house since the home invasion.
Let's face it, folks, crime can strike at any time, and we have to do all we can to make ourselves and our homes a safer place. Quit just talking about it and just go ahead and do it. Please, go down to your local Humane Society and adopt a good watchdog. For around $100, you get the dog that has already been fixed, had all its shots, with an ID chip in every dog. I prefer a big dog with a big bark. Crooks will not usually hit the house with the aggressive bark behind the door. Just think, a good watchdog might just be the right move for you in these very dangerous times of crimes.
911? I just broke into a house and the owner came home.
You broke into a house?
Yeah.
Where at?
I don't know.
Okay, so are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you with...
I think they have guns.
Okay, where are you?
I don't know.
You have no clue where you are.
And now, we'll be right back after these messages.
Yeah, my parents think I'm sleeping at your house. Yeah, I'm just jumping in the shower. Okay, bye. Don't do it. Don't do it.
There's a new crime-fighting tool out that helps you recover things if they were ever stolen from you. It can even store pictures of your valuables such as art, music instruments, or anything else you can take a picture of. Or, if you've already had something stolen, you can go there to look for it now. Anytime police nationwide find stolen items, they put it on Reported. So you can go to reported.leadsonline.com to see if your stolen stuff is waiting for you there.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
Now for an update on the death of local Crime Stopper Watson Griffin at the hands of what many Augustans are saying are crooked, lying con artists, suspected frauds, masquerading as an emergency vet clinic. As you may know, Watson was our furry child. He was smarter than any dog we'd ever met, and he came to us fully trained. Unfortunately, Watson got bit, and one of the punctures wouldn't stop bleeding. So we raced him to the emergency after-hours vet who said they would sell us a transfusion that he had to have to save his life. They quoted a price for the transfusion, so we wrote a check for the transfusion, and after we handed Watson over to the dark guy behind the counter, they wouldn't let us have him back. And then we began noticing they were acting suspiciously. Because the vet's check guarantee company got so many complaints from consumers that they wouldn't guarantee a check to that vet any longer, although they guarantee all of our checks all over town, we started stacking $100 bills on the counter to save Watson's life with the needed transfusion they said they would sell for all the money we paid them. The next day, the vet called and indicated that Watson had died due to lack of blood. Even though we paid several times over for the transfusion, they had lied to us right to our face and didn't give Watson the transfusion we paid for. Now, the Georgia Veterinarian Board has said they can't do anything about this emergency vet charging for work they never did that's leaving a trail of dead loved ones all over Augusta. If an emergency vet has told you that they were selling you one thing, but when you looked at your bill it wasn't there, or you've lost a loved one to the bait and switch suspected fraud of this emergency vet, the Governor's Office of Consumer Affairs has received a request to look into this emergency vet's bait and switch schemes. Bait and switch fraud is when you're told your money was buying one thing, but they give you something else. To try to get around loopholes and fraud laws, they give you other things you didn't ask for to get away with stealing your money for the one thing they said they were selling you, but you never got. In this case, it cost Augusta the life of Watson the Crime Stopper dog, who can never be replaced, but will live on in the hearts of those who met him even once and found themselves looking into the eyes of a smart, furry child. The lawyer for the so-called emergency vet says they can lie to you about what they're selling you, and unless you're a vet, there is nothing you can do about it. We think there is something you can do about bait and switch fraud. When someone says you're buying one thing but gives you a completely different thing, that is bait and switch fraud. There's no requirement that you be a vet to know that you've been defrauded. No matter how they try to make excuses for ripping off people with the result of your pet dying, fraud is still fraud. And it doesn't require you to be a vet to know when you've been lied to. This emergency vet is accused of allowing pets all over our city to die while they grub for filthy lucre and refuse to stop lying to the public, thus letting our pets die. If they told you the truth and sent you to the other saned emergency vet, your pet would have gotten the transfusion that you bought and your furry child would have lived. The Governor's Office of Consumer Protection wants to stop these suspected frauds, but they have to hear from you. So write this number we're about to give you down. There is so much fraud going on you may have to try a few times, but it will be worth it to know you did something to save the life of someone else's furry child by calling 1-800-869-1123. That's the Governor's Office of Consumer Protection at 1-800-869-1123. The furry child you save may be your own. Now for another update. The wrongful death of Watson the Crime Stopper dog came before a local judge who decided in favor of Watson the Crime Stopper dog's family. Even though the State Veterinarian Board would not investigate the veterinarian that charged us for a blood transfusion, but then didn't give it, a local judge decided that was wrong. If you think you've been wronged or defrauded locally, send us an email to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org or private mail it to us on our Facebook page, AugustaCrimeStoppers.org.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
Recent shooting sign of growing gang violence in Richmond County, police tell the Augusta Chronicle's Bianca Kane. Authorities say they fear that the recent slaying of a teen points to growing gang violence in Augusta. Gang graffiti was spray painted at the intersection of Loftwood Drive and Brookshire Road. Investigators estimate that Richmond County has several gangs. Dijon Cortez Abbott, 17, was charged with murder, aggravated assault, and a weapons violation in a fatal shooting in July on East Kensington Drive. 19-year-old Marquez Eubanks died after being shot at that house party on East Kensington Drive on July 18th, and 2 others were wounded. The man police arrested in that homicide, Dijon Cortez Abbott, is a member of the South Augusta Gang 23rd, which is warring with another gang called 600 or 600. Lieutenant Jason Vinson, who worked with the FBI's gang unit before coming to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, said shootings related to gang activity have become more frequent and are escalating more quickly from physical fights to gunfire. Vinson said he's seen gang members getting more brazen about their allegiance recently. Instead of hiding the gang colors, they're flaunting them and getting t-shirts and hats made to show that they are gang members. The number of gangs in Richmond County is not clear, investigator Ashley Fletcher told the Augusta Chronicle. Every little or big neighborhood seems to have one, she said. Most of the gangs are comprised primarily of teens, but some of the more established ones have older members who are related to the younger ones. Barton Village's OWTT, or the O-Dubs, have been around since the 1990s and is one of the largest. The parents of the grown people I was investigating would claim to be members, Vincent said, of the group that is estimated to have more than 100 gangbangers. 2 of last year's homicides were determined to be the result of gang activity. Danielle Hicks and Trumaine Jones were both fatally shot at the River Glen apartments within a month of each other. Police said the second death was retaliation for the first. Some of the gangs are considered smaller chapters of larger national gangs such as the Bloods, Crips, and Folk Nation. Devon Harris, who meets and speaks with gang members across the Aiken and Augusta area, says sometimes the only thing standing in the way of someone leaving a gang is finding steady employment. But dealing drugs or stealing items to resell are sometimes easier for a recovering gang member than moving on. Up to 75% of crime in any city is gang-related, Harrison estimated. They have to survive. Richmond County Sheriff Roundtree said he's working to create a gang task force that can prevent criminal activity. One of my main goals is to prevent young men from entering into crime or winding up in prison or dying in the streets, Roundtree said in an email. We understand that youth violence is a major problem in our area, and for years we have seen a steady increase in gang-related incidents. Our goal is not just to stop the cycle, but to break it. If you know of a gang crime, please call 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org or text your tip to 803-441-UP-HIGH. Where you can always remain anonymous, the rewards are up high, and you tell Crime Stoppers how you want to be paid. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding these guys. They purchased a bunch of eggs at the Kroger store on Columbia Road in Martinez. Guess what they did with them? Well, they didn't eat them. Authorities say they were seen egging vehicles as they left the Kroger parking lot. Plus, several other vehicles were egged on Rhett Drive in Evans. The vehicle they were driving was a white Nissan Altima. If you know who they are, please call Captain Steve Morris with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office at 706-541-2800 or call 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org where you can remain anonymous and get a cash reward. The jail report is asking, who is this? These black males are accused of credit card fraud, which occurred July the 1st at the Family Dollar on Sandbar Ferry Road in Augusta. Recognize either one? Then please call investigator Terry Gore at 706-821-1020 or call 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get a cash reward. Hi, Crime Report fans. If you'd like to see the recent WJBF Channel 6 News interviews of me and Richmond County Sheriff's Office Lieutenant Calvin Chu, go to Jillian Benefield's segment on Augusta Crime Stoppers Facebook page and click on Who is Augusta Crime Stoppers? There, like us on Facebook so you can keep up with which fleeing and evading felon is coming through a window near you in real time. Then stay tuned to Augusta Crime Stoppers on Facebook as Guardian Watch gives free services and trial runs on your smartphone to track bad guys or other dangers as you go about your normal day. Augusta Crime Stoppers is considering running our anonymous tip lines through the Guardian Watch system so you can track the bad guys instead of the bad guys tracking you. So go to the Augusta Crime Stoppers Facebook page to sign up for free and let us know what you think.
Recently, I was at my job. I had just dropped off my 2 sons, drove half an hour to my office. And when I got there, my coworkers were kind of frantic and talking about an armed robber who was pretty much running loose at that moment. It took me 20 minutes to get on the phone. I finally got an administrator who told me that the children were safe. But you have no idea what kind of stress I went through during that process. Guardian Watch allows me to access this information on my smartphone or on my computer, whether I'm at home or at work.
What we're looking for Guardian Watch to become is a trusted resource. Guardian Watch empowers citizens, gives them the ability to make reports without having to engage in whatever's going on. This not only protects their safety, but it still provides the information that public safety needs. All you have to do is download the apps for free, go to your immediate neighbors and say, hey, listen, I'm doing this to help protect my family and I would like to help protect yours. Will you join me? What we need to do in this country now is not just network with people all over the world, but we need to get back into our own communities and build networks around ourselves, not to become vigilantes, but to help support our public safety.
I've been talking about Guardian Watch to anybody who will listen. I've told the PTA, I've told my neighbors, because if we all kind of connect to each other, then we can have a much safer place to live.
Remember, neighbors, Guardian Watch and AugustaCrimeStoppers.org can warn you of bad guys coming, then pay you a reward for leading authorities to them. 2 birds, 1 stone.
You've been watching Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous. The criminals don't. If you have any information on these or any other crimes, call our national tip line at 1-800-222-TIPS. Well, you'll stay anonymous and could get a cash reward. You can see this or any other episode of Crime Reports and Rewards on the web anytime at crimereportsandrewards.com. Crime Reports and Rewards is a production of Michaels Media.